Chapter 5. My Earliest Recollections. The Scribe's Note on Chapter 5. This great globe upon which we live was once a glowing mass of flaming gas. It is possible that the whole solar system was once one great mass. In any case, we have no doubt that the moon is simply the result of a part of our glowing mass having become detached. In the hottest stars we find only the lightest atoms of matter, such as hydrogen gas, the atoms of heavier substances being found in stars which have begun to cool down. The electrons have been present from the very beginning, and it is they who go to make up the atoms of matter. We picture an atom of matter as a miniature solar system of revolving electrons. There is doubtless a corresponding amount of positive electricity, but so far we have no evidence of its nature. End Scribe's Note. Before giving an account of the everyday duties which we perform, it may interest you to hear something of our early history. Not only have we been on the move ever since the beginning of this world, but some of us have clear recollections of this planet long before it was a solid body. The whole world was a great ball of flaming gas. I have heard some fellow electrons say that we were attached to a greater mass of incandescent gas before the beginning of this world, but I have no personal recollections of it. But one thing I do remember is a great upheaval which caused a large mass of gas to become detached from our habitation. Without any warning, a great myriad of our fellow electrons were carried away on this smaller mass. At first, this detached mass circled around our greater mass at very close quarters, but we soon found that our friends were being carried farther and farther away, until they are now circling around this solid planet at a comparatively great distance. Man calls this detached mass the moon, and when I have heard children say in fun that they wish they could visit the man in the moon, I have longed to go and see how it fares with those fellow electrons who seem to be separated from us in such a permanent manner. After this exciting event, which I have heard described as the birth of the moon, our great ball of flaming gas began to cool gradually. But you will be interested in what happened before the moon's birth. I saw a crowd of electrons suddenly congregate together along with something else which man has not discovered. Never mind the other part, but picture a number of electrons forming a little world of their own. There they went whirling around in a giddy dance. I saw these little worlds, or atoms, being formed all around, and I feel truly thankful now that I was not caught in the mad whirl, for these fellow electrons have been kept hard at it ever since, imprisoned within a single atom. I have met a very few electrons who have escaped from within an atom, but I shall tell you about them later on. The first thing I noticed was that each of the atoms had practically the same number of electrons in it. At that time I thought only in an abstract way, but since then I have learned that these were hydrogen atoms, hydrogen being the lightest substance known to man. Exactly what happened next I cannot recollect, but my attention was attracted later to larger congregations of electrons forming other little worlds of their own. These atoms were, of course, heavier than the hydrogen atoms. I saw quite a variety of different systems, of which I thought then in an abstract fashion, but which I know now to be atoms of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, iron, copper, and so on. While man has given the atoms these distinguishing names, you will understand that the incidents which I am relating took place long before there was any appearance of solidity about our planet. These substances were all in a gaseous state. After this, I recollect that there was a great envelope of water vapor condensed around the planet. Some condensed into liquid water upon the surface of the globe, while part was suspended in the form of clouds. Some of my fellow electrons acted as nuclei, or foundations for the formation of the cloud particles. The water which condensed upon the earth settled down in the hollows, which had been produced previously by the immense pressure of the water vapor envelope. We can hardly believe it is the same world. You cannot imagine how strange it was to see the great oceans boiling and steaming. Of course they were fresh water then. I need hardly tell you that they have become salt only because the rivers have brought down sodium into them, and when these sodium atoms unite with chlorine atoms, they form particles of common salt. I know all about this because we electrons play a very important part in all such combinations. One very memorable recollection is that of life originating in the oceans. I wish I could let you into the secret of the origin of life, but according to the Creator's plan, man must find out for himself. Your guesses are all wide of the mark. By the way, perhaps I should explain why I have been selected to write this biography. The first reason is that I am a free or detachable electron, and the second point in my favor is that I have had exceptional opportunities of seeing about me. I have heard men say that lookers-on see most of the game, and as I have witnessed the gradual evolution of things, you will understand that I have views of my own. A casual observer might think that things had deteriorated, for long ago there were immense monsters upon this planet, and these would put all modern creatures in the shade as far as size and strength are concerned. But one of the most interesting things to me has been to watch the evolution of man, and more especially the gradual development of his brain. Indeed, sometimes I have wished that I had happened to be an electron in the brain of a man. But, on the other hand, my career would not have been of the very kind which it has been. End of chapter 5.